Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Appreciate you coming out. Happy 2 for Tuesday. Hopefully you had a good Monday and you had a good weekend. I picked up 2 Hondas over the weekend, this generator and a self-propelled walk behind. So we got to discuss both of these 2 for Tuesday. Uncle Brad took me out for breakfast this morning, had a lot of energy, worked on a couple of projects. Today ran into some roadblocks, so I figured I'd take a break and show you what I picked up. Other stuff has trickled in the last day or so, so I got more videos to do on some rolling junk. So one of my scrappers called and said, I just picked up a generator. He said it's heavy, and I asked him some questions. He didn't really know. He said, I think it's a 20 horsepower. So he says, I got it on the tailgate. Let me bring it by. You can see if you're interested. So he showed up. I took a look at it, and it was on its side. He said he's been having back problems, hasn't really been scrapping. I haven't seen him in quite a while, so he's been laying low. He said a couple guys help him load it, probably the owner and the a helper. So this, he said, the owner said it hadn't started in a while, so we gotta just take a walk around and look at this. This is the biggest generator I've gotten a 20 horse V twin. It's 10,000 watts. So he had it flat down. He had it flat down this side on the back of the truck. So I wheeled out my lift table and I jacked it up where the table was even with the tailgate, and we ended up just sliding this thing over. So right away it had 2 flat tires. I had gone to Harbor Freight a month or 2 ago. These were on sale. So they're not perfect as far as the axle diameter, but they're pretty close, and I just got it to roll. So the battery was on its side. I had to really work hard to get the rusty terminals off. This is how it came in, with no caps, and the battery doesn't have any acid in it, so that's how it came in. These foot pegs, both of them on the other side and this one, were bent. They were missing some nuts, so I took those off when I had it on the side, resurrected those. These brackets here were twisted and not straight, so I loosened these up and straightened it out. I think these are aftermarket kits for the wheels, and you got a couple of handles. I think this is a stationary generator. It's not made to be moved around. This here is after the fact. So you could see it must have been on a carport or a lean-to of some sort. It took sun all day here. This is dried out. Took sun here all day. The other side is the color it should be. So kind of faded. It took rain. Got some rusty nuts. The fuel filler cap, the white plastic here was off. So I cleaned up the dial. The indicator was rusty. I just took some nail polish and stroked that red. let it dry out. Then I took some RTV, put it on the other side of the plastic, put this back down and let it sit and dry. So that's on there now. Got some surface rust here on the spiral. There is some liquid down in there. So that's about as far as I've gotten. So I'll give you the model number and all that jazz here. I wrote some things down. So what I can tell, I just started looking at it just now as far as date codes. This power head Leroy Somer, it says made in France, and there's a production date here. 12th month, 99. And then I see something similar here on the control, key control, 1999, 1102. So it looks like 11th month, second day of 1999. So this is a 26-year-old generator. This was stuck. Nobody had checked the oil. I had to put a vice grip on it. Very clean. If you look at the oil is still golden brown. This unit has 9 hours on it according to the Hobbs meter. Yeah, 9 hours. So they probably ran it once in a while to make sure it ran, and I guess it got too far gone with 2 blown out wheels. Battery no good, but these are expensive. I kind of looked at Harbor Freights. This model they don't make anymore. So when they made the 10,000 watt, they made a 7,500 watt. This company, the company's called Desa Power Fast. The engine's a Honda GX620. So the model number, Papa Golf Hilo 11000 India Echo. So there was a manual I found for the 7,500 and the 10,000. They say this is 325 pounds, and I believe it. This thing was a bear. So when he said he had a generator, I normally don't pay a lot for generators, but then I saw it was a monster. So I was thinking of a price. So I figured 2 things. I thought the value of it, if it's running, it's going to be an expensive machine, and I also have to consider weight. I don't want to give him less than he can get for the weight at the scrap yard. I didn't make that calculation till after because I didn't know it was 325 pounds. So 325 times 7 cents is what I think they're getting now, between 5 and 7 cents a pound. So if they just bring this in, he dumps it, they call it dirty metal. Not that it has dirt on it, but it's plastic and everything else. So $22.75 is what he could have got for this, unless he tore down the power head and pulled all the copper out of it and then scrapped the rest of it on its own. But as it sits as dirty metal, $22.75. So I wasn't so sad when I gave him 50 bucks. That's what I thought. I thought if this runs, it's going to be several $100s. So I gave him basically double scrap price at 50 bucks. So I got to figure out what to do with this thing. Find somebody to store it, because I don't have storage for anything this big. So looking in at the power head, I had found a bunch of wasp nests are in there. So I got to deal with that. And it had a lot of dirt gobbers. They were all over this thing in every little nook and cranny. So this thing was on somebody's porch or under an awning of some sort where insects could get to it. I took the air filter cover off, and there was a bunch of dirt gobbers under Dino's tail. So I could power the neighborhood with this 10,000 watt machine. Okay, I didn't see this before. They're out of Bowling Green, Kentucky, Desa International. I had seen Desa mentioned on the Power Fast. So there's the model number I gave you. So they import this from France. Oh, it's got a serial number. Oil filter original. And there's your GX620 ID. Fuel pump vacuum operated. So I've got, this is just a 12-volt garden tractor battery. I've got some around. I could probably mess with this in the next few days, but generators aren't my top priority. My top priority is mowers. So who did this Honda come from? Oh, my neighborhood scrapper. He brought it Sunday. Generator came Saturday. This Honda came Sunday. That's all he had for me. So I looked at it. It looked pretty good. Rear wheel drive, tires are bald, and it's got trouble rolling backwards. I noticed that right away. Other than that, I haven't looked at it. It's pulling backwards hard, which means the axle's got rust on it. There's guys that have videos out. You remove the rear wheels, and if push comes to shove, you got to sand the axle. Sometimes I can goop it up enough with Rust Buster where I can get it to pull backwards. So GCV160, I got to look for a year. We got to check the oil and see if anybody maintained this. The fuel valve is on the on position, so they should have turned that off when they were storing the machine. Cables aren't rusty. Okay, this conforms to EPA California emissions 2018. April of 2018. I seem to be getting a lot of Hondas from 2018. The Hilo Romeo 216 Kilo 10 Victor Kilo Alpha Alpha. I'll put that down below. Check the oil. You don't screw the dipstick back in. You just let it sit there on the threads, and we got plenty of oil. Maybe just a tad too much. So this has got that smart drive control with the paddle. up on the handle. Okay, there is gas in it. Should we take a fuel sample? Heck, why not? Let me grab a container of some sort, my turkey baster, and see what the fuel condition's like. Okay, yeah, I got one that'll suffice. Cat food can. I'm feeding the cat canned food, getting the royal treatment. No dry food for him. He's patrolling night and day. He deserves wet food. Let's scoop up some gas. Where can I go? I guess straight down's my best choice. Okay, smells like gas. I don't see any water. There's very little in there. But what I took up is not showing me any concerns. Still no water, so let's pull on this turd. Maybe Harvey and Helen went into an assisted living facility. You know, they've been running into something here. The whole air filter cover thing is busted. Not bad. It was doing its job. So I got some dead Hondas. I'll switch out the backing assembly here with one that's not cracked. So I had looked at the underside when I first got it. The twin blade, one of the blades is showing some sandblasting. It's got some wear on it, so this thing's going to need another blade set to start with. Okay, like I said, fuel valve is on. Clucky, you hang on, because I'm going to pull with all my might. Oh, a little puffy. So there you go. It was a start and stall, so maybe there is water in the carb. I lifted up the rear end just as it was petering out, and the rear wheel's engaged, so that's operating. So I'll manhandle this carb. It's not my favorite, just because you got to put all the stuff in order to get it back on. And it's the type with the bolts that pull out of the head, so you got to kind of line up everything, and back she goes. So let me just try this again, see if it does the same thing. Okay, that was a little bit better, but it's still not 100%. maybe leaning it forward. I was pushing the water to the front of the bowl where it was able to pick up fresh fuel. Put it back down level, water goes level, and you're picking up some fuel. Or jet could be partially blocked, but I'm happy. No rust on the deck. 2018 machine, not bad. I'll show you the underside. So probably, like I said, axle work, and the tread is worn out. I'd buy another set of rear wheels and ask a lot for this thing. So there's your sandblasting here on the lift. Same with this side. I don't see anything else out of order. Looks like they got quite a bit of use out of it. Whoever had it liked to run into things. The air filter backing plate ran into something there. So yeah, this was 30. So the generator was 50, the pusher was 30. So I spent 80 bucks between these two Hondas. Okay, that's your 2 for Tuesday. I appreciate you coming out. Clucky's gonna keep guarding this fine piece of equipment. I'm gonna go on and mess with something else. You guys have a good day. Appreciate you coming out. If you want to let me know what you think of today's haul, you can email me, Tommy.time@Yahoo. Let me know what you're working on. Bruce Beaver's up into what, 74 units sold. I just sold one Saturday, and it's been like months. So my season hasn't started yet, but it'll go into September. You guys will have snow on the ground in September, and I'll still be selling mowers. So our seasons are a little off, but I'll catch up to you guys. Don't you worry, because we're going to do it at Tommy time. We don't mess around. We're serious about lawn equipment and lawn equipment maintenance and repair. You guys have a good day. Continue to tip your waitress and wait staff. Adios, amigos.